Welcome back to Itching to Scratch Golf. As you can see, a different video today. I will not be doing a course vlog. I am going to do an introductory video of this whole channel, which is probably something I should have done, the first video I ever did. I didn't, so this video is going to be broken out. Number one, introductory, what is Itching to Scratch? Second, I'm going to go out and talk about my golf origin story a little bit, where it started from a kid, growing up, that whole thing. Thirdly, I'm going to talk about where I am now and how I plan to get to scratch. And that is it. Number one, itching to scratch. What is it? Here's what it is. Scratch golf is a term used to describe a golfer who can play at level par on a average course. Basically 0.0 on a course that has a rating of 72.0, you play at 72.0 on average. You're gonna shoot par on it. If you have a 10 handicap, you're gonna shoot 10 over par on a 72 rating course. So for me, when I started this channel, I was an 8 handicap. I would shoot around an 80 on most courses that are average courses. So this channel, what this channel is me trying to get from an 8 handicap to a 0.0 or maybe even a plus handicap. And I shoot under par on an average course. That's the aims of this channel. How I'm gonna do that is by filming myself and uploading them as course vlogs. So you can see my progression and you can see what I still have to work on and how I work through a course. And then I'm also going to do videos, and I haven't done any of these yet, but on things I'm specifically working on, drills I'm working on, and how I'm trying to eliminate something that is troubling me in my game. Currently, it is early extension. It's me standing up and making this club go vertical and flipping at the bottom. My hands kind of flip at the bottom, which it's not, when you're playing a lot, it's timing dependent. So if you're flipping and you're getting that timing at the bottom pretty good, you can play pretty good. And that's what I was doing this summer. I haven't played I played a couple times in the last 6 weeks. And I played yesterday and it was horrible. I was just right, left. I couldn't time up that flip at the bottom and it showed. I would like to be less timing dependent. Number two, my golf origin story by Ben Wagar, AKA Itching to Scratch. I played many sports growing up. First sport, baseball, basketball, and football. I played football until I got to high school. When I graduated high school, I had the option to play at one D2 school for baseball and a couple smaller schools, and did not want to. I wasn't getting much in the way of scholarships anyways, and it would have just been like a job for that I'm not getting paid at. But I do come from a baseball background. After high school, I wasn't gonna play any of those sports seriously anymore. So I needed something to pick up the slack of my athletic endeavors, and I decided golf. Now, I had golfed very sparingly up until that point. When I was like 8 or 9, we had some cut down clubs, probably some like Ping Karsten ones or something like that had been cut down for my older brother. I had picked that up and was just hitting like foam balls in the yard. And my father, who by all accounts was a great golfer, kind of a driver wedge kind of golfer, long hitter. I didn't ever play with him on the course. He passed away when I was 13, but when I was like probably 8 or 9, and he gave me a little bit of a lesson there. He just said on the backswing, I think this actually comes from Jack Nicklaus, on your backswing, or you start, your weight should feel on the balls of your feet in an athletic posture. You take the swing back, the weight moves to the inside of your back foot as you load, and you're kind of bracing your leg. So what I know now is you're bracing your body and you're making sure you're not swaying back, but you feel the weight in the inside part of your foot. On your downswing, you start to feel that weight shift from the inside of your back foot to the inside of your front foot, and then pretty quickly to the outside of your front foot through impact. And then as you follow through, you're up on your back toe. That was the one and only basically lesson I've ever gotten from anybody in golf. I've never taken lessons. So I remember hearing that when I was, again, 9 or so. But I was just in the yard with probably a cut down 9 iron hitting a foam ball. And I don't know, 1989, 1990, something like that. But I didn't spend a lot of time in the yard, like probably total 10 hours or something from the time I was 8 to 15, just messing around in the yard hitting balls. When I was 15, I went golfing on a golf course for the first time ever, but one time. And then when I was 17, I think this summer going into my senior year of high school, I started golfing at Ironwood Golf Course in Hinckley, Ohio. My grandma worked there, and I had some buddies who played, and it was fun. But I was classic, trying to be a baseball player golfing. Hung back on my back leg a lot, flipped. So same stuff kind of that I do now. Over the top, but more pronounced. Flipping at the bottom, open club face. So I would aim way left, and it would start right and fade or slice right. I was okay, but it was frustrating for me. I'm someone who would pick up a new sport pretty quickly. Golf was, although I was pretty good as a beginner goes, it wasn't what I was seeing on TV. This was Tiger time. You know, it was probably late 90s, so Tiger had already come. So I'd been started watching golf on TV, and if you're not hitting the ball like you're seeing, it's a little frustrating, especially when you're used to being able to do that kind of thing. After high school, like I said, I wanted to find something, so golf. It was golf all the way, and I fell hard, and I started working at a driving range and hitting 200 or 300 balls 3 or 4 times a week, and still no lessons. And this was prior to YouTube swing lessons, where you can really get a very firm and good understanding of how to make a complete and sound golf swing. And if you're missing a specific way, or if you're doing something specific, you can get a fix for it by typing in the old Google or YouTube, and it'll tell you what to fix and how to. It was before all that. I was just out there just pounding the mats, and without working on specific things, I didn't get great, but I got pretty good. And what I got good at is that flip at the bottom and the timing. So although I was still coming over the top and trying to time it up, I was hitting so much that my timing was pretty good, and I could even work it left to right, right to left a bit. And I would play, strength of my game, kind of like it is now, was driving. I would play, sometimes I would aim right and make sure I got closed with my hands and just play a dead pull, but it was like I would bomb the ball. Now sometimes I wouldn't get the closed, or when you're really trying to close through, obviously you close too much and you snap hook it. And my chipping was the worst part of my game, and my putting was pretty bad. And I was about an 8 handicap. And I played pretty consistently from the time I was about 18 to probably 25. Kind of got burned out on it. I gave it up. A couple years after that, got married, had 3 kids. After not having really golfed for about 10 years. We had our 3rd kid, so 2018. I was like, I kind of miss golfing. And my wife was like, you should go golfing. So I did. And I just immediately fell back into it. Super horde. Golfed a lot. That was the fall of 2018. I was probably about a 20 handicap. The spring of 2019, I'd say I was 17 handicap. By the end of 2019, I was already down to about a 12. 2020 spring, and the same thing that winter, hitting balls off the mat inside. I live in Ohio, and not a lot of golf in the winter if there's snow on the ground. Now last winter I actually golfed in December and in January, none in February because there was a blanket of snow all of February, and then back at it March. So I only took basically 1 month off of course golf. I only played, I think, twice in January and twice in December, so I didn't play a ton. 2020, 12 handicap. When I launched this channel in summer of 2021, I was an 8 handicap, and that's the estimate based on the Grint app. Says I was an 8 handicap. That's what I rolled with. I was playing a lot when I launched this channel, multiple times a week for about 7-8 weeks in a row. The Grint then had me at a 7 handicap, and that kind of stopped a little bit. The last 6-7 weeks I haven't played a whole lot. 3 times in the last 6 weeks, so I'm probably back to an 8. If I played a little consistently, probably at about an 8. If I played a ton, I'd probably get to a 6 and 7. Again, that's all timing, and that's not even me going to the course. That could just be me hitting balls in my yard, or me going to a driving range, something like that, just to get the timing down at the bottom. So what my aims are. So I went from a 17 down to a 7 in 2 years, and the way I did that was I just hit the ball a lot, and I've been working on not coming over the top as much and getting more rotation. And that is one thing that I've really been working on a lot, or really will be working on a lot, I'm gonna put together a video on early extension, and it's basically just some things that I've learned from other YouTubers, and I will credit them in that video. Some drills to work on early extension and how I'm doing it. So moving forward with these videos, the next video I post will probably be just another vlog, another course vlog, just showing kind of how far I've slipped back and how timing dependent I am and how I want that not to be the case. You know, really, really good players, if they take off for a long time, I think probably the biggest thing they struggle with coming back is touch on the green. But if they have really sound mechanics and a good engine turning them through that ball and a very stable club face turning through the ball, it's less timing dependent, a little more consistent of a strike. That's where I want to be. I'd love it to be able to be like, I haven't played in 6 months, and then go out there and shoot par. That would be awesome, but I'm not there. That's twice in my golf career that I've gone from 20-ish down to an 8, but I haven't been able to break through that 8 barrier, except for real briefly where I was a 7. So how do I break through? I've got to get a more repeatable swing, a more stable club face through the ball. I've got to stop my body from stalling out. I've got to stay down in my posture and turn through the ball. My club speed has never been an issue, so hopefully I do those parts of my game and either increase my club speed a little bit or at the very least not lose any club head speed. I've got to do better putting. And my biggest bugaboo on putting is speed. It's tempo. I don't have a repeatable tempo. I don't have a repeatable swing. I kind of just go by feel, which some people do and are great at it. But that's another one of those things where you've got to be playing a lot and you've got to really dial in the speed of the greens that day on your feel, which can be hard. If you have more of a tempo and you know, all right, on a stimp of XYZ, I know my tempo is 80 beats per minute, and if I take it back to my left toe and up to my left, or my right toe to left toe, on a stimp of whatever, I'm gonna hit it 15 feet. And then you adjust based on stimp. But your tempo never changes. Just how far you take it back and through changes based on the stimp of the greens. So there's still some feel with that, but it's more Bryson DeChambeau, scientific, let's get this thing down to science, which actually I'm all about. I actually really like data and analytics, and so I feel like that would be a better approach for me. But there's another part of me that's like, this game is kind of art too. Like, you just need to go down there, feel your swing and feel your roll. So hopefully I don't completely lose that. Maybe it's somewhere cross-section betwixt the two. But I need to get better at putting. And then the worst part of my game, which has always been, is chipping. And that's also doing it. And it's also that when you have that flip at the bottom, as I do, when you're chipping, you have a tendency to hit it fat if you're a little behind the ball, or you bottom out before you're almost always bottoming out before the ball with your weight staying back and you're flipping through, and you're either hitting it fat and then up to the ball, or you're missing the ground and just hitting the top of the ball and sculling it or topping it. So, and anywhere between there. You have a couple good ones, but usually you're hitting it, it's just not very consistent. So that's a very, not only is it doing it and getting feel around the green, because I could hit the chip exactly where I was aiming and exactly how I wanted to hit it, and it still is nowhere near the hole, because some of it is just getting around a green and chipping and understanding that with this trajectory and this speed and hitting the ball here on that lie of green, here's where the ball's going to end up. Some of it's just imagination in your head, seeing the shot, because I'll hit it and be like, oh yeah, here we go, and it's horrible. So part of it is just doing it more, but the bigger part for me, I think, is getting the technical part down better, hitting the ball than the ground, or if you are hitting slightly behind it, using the bounce better, so you're not either digging into the ground or bouncing and hitting I do that sometimes too on hard ground. So technical stuff, and then just working it. So my goals, currently an 8 handicap. If I were playing a lot, I think that would actually be about a 7. But my goal is from now, where I'm an 8 handicap, I want to be to a 3 handicap by fall 2022. My goal is to lose 5 strokes over the next year. And then from fall of 2022 to fall of 2023, scratch. So I will have gone from, in 2018, 20 handicap to a scratch handicap in 5 years, which now that I'm thinking about it, seems like an ample amount of time. But I guess dropping 12 strokes in the last 3 years, I could have done better. I could have done more, but I didn't. So the next 2 years will be, and this is the hard part. It's like, trying to lose the last 5 pounds or something like that, which I also know about. It's the last few strokes are going to be hard because it's not, you can make wild improvements on your strokes by just putting better and chipping better around the green. I still, 60 or 65% of my total strokes are around the green. So it's still, there's a huge amount of improvement I can make just by locking those things down. But if you're a 20 handicapper out there watching this video, putt and chip, because the vast majority of your shots are coming from around the green, and a 1-inch putt is the same as a 300-yard drive. So don't go spending all your time on the range trying to pound that ball 300 yards. So the last few strokes are going to be the hardest, but I have confidence that I can get there, and I will get there. And that's where you guys come in, because look, what are you getting out of this watching these videos? On the course vlogs, maybe you're giggling some at some of my silliness and some of my japes, which is great. If you watch for that, awesome. It's gonna be good. I'll keep doing that. But if you're like, yeah, there's lots of other golfers who do that kind of thing, I don't need that for this. But you are a 20 handicapper, or you are a 17 handicapper, or you are a 12 handicapper, or you are an 8 handicapper, and you're like, I want to get better. Here's where the other videos start to come in on how I'm improving, how I improved from a 20 to an 8, and how I plan to improve from an 8 to a 0. And you can watch those upcoming videos on early extension or putting. And if you're intrigued by my putting tempo talk, you can learn a little bit more about that, or how I improve on my chipping, which is going to be something you and I can both go on a journey together, because I'm not a good chipper. P.S. The round that I played the best, that 1 under 9, was because I was chipping the ball great. I got up and down, I think every time on that back 9 that I scored under par. I had a lot of looks. I think I missed the green, which is funny. You think your lowest scores are going to be the ones that you absolutely are green in regulation, drop a few birdies, that kind of stuff. But mine was up and down, parring, and up and down up and down 1 birdie on a par 5, I think, and then parred everything else. I may have 2 birdied, 1 bogey. I don't know. Look back at it. That one is called my best round ever. Back of Chippewa, back 9 Chippewa Golf Course in Doylestown, Ohio. Go back, tell me I'm wrong, put it in the comments. No, you did this, this, and this. I will love to hear that. So there it is. Next time on Itching to Scratch will be a normal course vlog, and you can see how bad I've been with my timing. And then the video after that will be a video on early extension and how I am attempting to fix it. I think. If it's not progressing, if my skills aren't progressing with how my skills and drills aren't lining up, I may hold off and just keep drilling that until I get it better. So you can see the difference between on course, before I started those drills, and after I really drilled down on the early extension. So into the winter, I may not be playing as much, so maybe it'll be more drill dependent stuff. So another side note here. I know there's some of you watching this that are like, it doesn't seem like a huge improvement. 5 years from 2018 to 2023, going from 20 handicap to scratch. It's a long time to get better, and that's true. And this is not a preemptive excuse. This is just the reality of it. I have 3 children who are all young, who all require time from their father, and who I love giving time to. This is not I'm working every day at this. This is just the reality of life and how it happens. I work full-time, a full-time father, a full-time husband. So I will work at this when I can. And at least for the next year, I will be, hopefully, knock on wood. If you're wondering why I do knock on wood and knock on my tooth, it's because I have a friend who has a wooden tooth. And when we say knock on wood, he knocks on his wood. He doesn't have a wooden tooth, but it looks like he has a wooden tooth. So we knock on our tooth for knock on wood. I may not spend every day working on this. If I were making this my number one goal of my life, I know it would not take me 2 more years to get down to a 0 handicap. But I'm not. Golf is, I love it. I really love golf. But I really love my family more. And, I also don't want to quit my job. So over the next 2 years, I'm going to go from an 8 handicap to a scratch. And I'm going to do so while still holding a full-time job, having 3 young children, and a wife. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys are from Northeast Ohio, let me know if there's any courses that you want me to play. Let me know. Thanks for watching Itching to Scratch. I'm itching to scratch, and now you know what that means. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Itching to scratch, go!